Welcome to the December meeting of the Council Rock Public School Directors. If everyone could rise, Ms. Benedict is going to, with her team here, is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
1, 2, 3.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Happy to present tonight Adolph Singers. They are a wonderful group of students, and they're going to be sharing tonight Walking in the Air, which was one of the pieces from our winter concert from last week. So without further ado, Walking in the Air, by the Adolph Singers.
We're walking in the air. We're floating in the moonlit sky. The people far below are sleeping as we fly. I'm holding very tight. I'm holding very tight. I'm riding in the midnight blue. I'm gliding, I can fly so high above with you. On across the world, the villages go by like dreams. The rivers and the hills, the forests and the streams. Children gaze open now, taken by surprise. Nobody down below believes their eyes. We're surfing in the air, we're swimming in the frozen sky. We're drifting over icy mountains floating by. Children gaze open now, taken by surprise. Nobody down below believes their eyes. We're rocking in the air, we're dancing in the midnight sky.
Wow, Welch Singers. That was awesome. That was not an easy song. In fact, I think that was a really difficult song, and you all performed it absolutely fantastically well. Thanks so much.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
Ms. Rice, could I have a roll call vote, please?
Ed Tate,
Present.
Mike Thorwart,
Here.
Denise Brooks,
Sorry, here.
Mary Ann McKee,
Here.
Joseph Hidalgo,
Here.
Kristen Marcel,
Here.
Ed Solomon,
Here.
Mark Bilek,
Here.
and Andy Block.
Mr. Block is on a business trip. Next up is Student Advisory Board. Mr. Funk, welcome.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen of the School Board of Directors, Central Administrators, Dr. Frazier, it's a pleasure to come before you once again tonight to introduce Council Rock High School South Student Advisory Board. I can tell you that the staff and students are both very excited about our upcoming winter break. But before we take our leave, we will endeavor to keep you updated on the many happenings and events in our school community. And tonight, we're going to kick it off with our MBIT representative, Olivia. Take it away, Olivia.
Hi, my name is Olivia Gaudet, and I'm a senior at Council Rock High School South and a third-year student in the cosmetology program at MBIT. MBIT's annual open house was on Thursday, November 21st from 5 to 8 p.m. Students, parents, and community members came out to explore MBIT's 22 career and technical program. MBIT's proud to recognize Tricia Shepard as the recent recipient of the Francis X. MBIT's local advisory council president, Dr. Janice Solkov, and her friend Lynn Tegler donated hair to a worthy cause, children with hair loss, with the help of cosmetology program. The MBIT student-built house is now for sale, and you can contact Rob Vining for bid packages, any questions, or to schedule a tour. And the culinary arts and science students from MBIT recently participated in culinary competitions with other career and technical schools at the Taste of Montgomery and Bucks event sponsored by the Philadelphia chapter of American Culinary Federation. Thank you for letting me report to you, and have a great holiday break.
Good evening. I am Mallory Marsan, the 9th grade representative, and recently, selected classes from South were allowed to speak to astronauts aboard a space station 200 miles above the school. Over 1,000 people attended, which includes media from multiple television networks and employees of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Students spoke to Dr. Drew Morgan, an astronaut, about how radios work, how to work as a team, and what life is like in space. This experience gave students a chance to get a glimpse of what life is like aboard a space station. Over the past year, the use of Chromebooks on campus has grown greatly. With over 1,000 Chromebooks at South, students are becoming more familiar with the technology and using it more in classes. Assignments, tests, and homework have been assigned online rather than using worksheets more and more. Canvas has been helpful to students all around the school by giving alerts as to when assignments are due or when tests are graded. The system is favored by many around the school and have improved the daily online experience of students. Thank you for listening and have a great night.
Hi, I'm Katie Burke, the 10th grade representative for South's Advisory Board. Although winter break is just around the corner, South students are still very busy. Winter sports kicked off on November 18th, and the games, meets, and practices are in full swing. Boys basketball has a record of 3-3, and the girls team is 3-2. They are both looking forward to competing in their Suburban 1 league games. The wrestling team is also off to a great start, defeating Springford in their first match, 34-31. This past weekend, the team successfully competed at the King of the Mountain tournament in Clinton County. Tonight, they wrestle at Princeton University against Westchester Henderson High School. They have their sights set on another successful year at the district and state tournaments. The men and women swim teams also competed in their first meets, including the annual Council Rock Relay Carnival last weekend. With 2 new coaches and the long practice hours in the pool, the swimmers are excited for the season ahead. The men's and women's track teams are also starting off strong. Some individuals medaled in their first meets of the season. They traveled to Lehigh University to compete, knowing the challenging races and competition prepare them well for their spring track seasons. Not only have the athletes been training hard, but the orchestra and choirs have been rehearsing their music since September. They were finally able to showcase their months of practice during their impressive winter concert yesterday at South's Auditorium, delighting the crowd with holiday favorites and even some music from Star Wars. Finally, from December 2nd to the 13th, some students participated in Keystone retake tests in biology, literature, and Algebra 1. Many more students will participate in the end-of-year Keystone assessments in May. An email will be sent out to parents in April regarding the test dates, times, and other important details. Thank you for your time, and enjoy a wonderful and relaxing holiday.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Rosenfeld, and I'm the 11th grade representative for Council Rock South Student Advisory Board. Tonight, I will be talking to you about Winter Ball and Minithon's Westchester Volleyball Tournament. The Minithon Club of Council Rock South helps to raise money for Four Diamonds organization, which helps assist in the fight against childhood cancer. For this reason, Minithon's motto is FTK, or For the Kids. On November 20th, from 7 to 9 p.m., the club hosted an intense but friendly Westchester volleyball tournament at Council Rock South. The event raised $1,260 with a record-breaking 21 teams involved in the tournament. This money adds to the $1,365 that Minithon Club has raised this year. Minithon's main event will take place on Friday, February 28th in 2020, where the club hopes to receive a great turnout like it had for Westchester Volleyball. On Saturday, November 16th, from 7 to 10 p.m., Council Rock South hosted the annual Winter Ball Dance. The dance was amazing once again, with this year's theme being Winter Wonderland. The junior class student council, with the help of their advisors Mr. Bauer and Mrs. Gooding, as well as a bunch of other students, worked countless hours over the span of many months to put together this special night. In total, over 1,300 tickets were sold, raising $58,500 for the class of 2021. As far as the dance itself, what happens at Winter Ball stays at Winter Ball. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a great New Year's.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Milvoy, and I'm the 12th grade representative for the CR South SAB. Before we start, I just wanted to remind everybody the good news and the bad news. Good being that Disney is in 118 days now, while the bad news is I have to sing a song for everybody in 127 days. Mark your calendars. Tonight I have much to say from our choir's B101 competition, our new dedication wall in the library lobby, and our college and career readiness score. The CR South Vocal Ensemble participated in B101's choir competition, making it to the finals with their take on Underneath the Tree, but falling to second place behind Philadelphia Performing Arts Charter School. The choir's second place prize of $2,000 was donated to a scholarship fund to those who want to play instruments and have access to renting them. On November 11th, 2019, Veterans Day, thanks to teacher Ted Kerner and student Aaron Murphy, they put up a new dedication wall in the library lobby to those in the armed services. To all those in the Council Rock South community who have or will answer the call is quoted with each emblem from the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. And last but not least, Council Rock South has also received a college career readiness score of 85.9, making it one of the highest scores in the area. Before we conclude tonight, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy holidays and a happy new year, and I'll be looking forward to meeting with everybody come again next decade in February. Thank you all and have a festive night.
Thank you.
Nice job, Team South. Well represented as always. Happy holidays to you. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
All right, thank you, Dr. Thorwart. Looking good in that captain's seat here this evening. Good evening, members of the board and members of our Council Rock community. So as you've heard a couple times here, the Winter break is just about upon us. In fact, this time tomorrow evening, break will have begun. I don't think we have too many folks who are too upset about that. I will tell you that I love it when our schools are full of life. But at the same time, to have this opportunity to celebrate the holidays with our loved ones is pretty fantastic as well. So on behalf of the Council Rock School District, I wish all friends of the district a very, very happy holiday season. And we will be back in session, sorry, I'm obligated to say it, on after an extended break on Thursday, January 2nd, 2020. So, as we just heard from Nick, the decade is just about over, so a new decade will be upon us. We'll have a chance to ring that in, and it will be a 2-day week, which is something I think we can handle coming back after break. And I simply cannot think of a better way to end 2019 or to end this decade than for us to recognize a Council Rock PIAA state champion student athlete. And that's what we are about to do. So to get this process started, it is my pleasure to welcome the Council Rock North Athletic Director, Mr. Rob Finley. Mr. Finley.
Thank you, Dr. Frazier. I'm going to let Coach Morin say a number of things about the team since she spent the better part of 3 or 4 months with them, and specifically about Amelia. But I want to highlight what Amelia does outside of tennis. She's an amazing student. She's not just a tennis champion. She's also one of our best students as a junior, and she's an even nicer young person. She led the juniors to the Powder Puff Championship, which was nice. I'm sure that was a highlight as well. And she really is the complete package and is the best embodiment of what Council Rock School District is and what we want North Athletics to be. So I cannot think of a better person to deserve what she has accomplished. I want to say congratulations. And at this time, I want to have Coach Morin come up to speak on behalf of her.
Hello. Before I get totally into Amelia, there's some people that we want to thank. First, I want to thank Rob for being great support all season long. As you know, you get into a lot of different kind of situations where you need that support, and he's always there for us. I want to thank Amelia's parents, Max and Hayes, who have supported the program, and especially Amelia, for a very long time. And Amelia's grandparents flew in from England. I think they were flying in for the holiday anyway, but they're here tonight. And my assistant coach, Mike Custers, is here tonight too. I want to thank him. Many of the girls from the varsity and JV were unable to come tonight, but those that did, if you'd stand up to show your support here. Okay, come on, girls, stand up. We even have a couple of graduates that came out to support Amelia. The girls' tennis team at Council Rock North has been incredibly successful for the past 5 years. We've come in first place or tied for first place every year for the past 5 years. The last 3 years, a lot of it's been because of Amelia Honor. Her energy, her enthusiasm, her support at all levels. Those of you that play tennis or have watched tennis understand it's very much an individual sport. It's not about a team, it's all about me. In Amelia's case, it's not all about her. She does play singles, so when she's on the court, it's her and her opponent. But as she's playing in the Suburban National League, she knows what's going on in every single court. You can hear her 4 courts over yelling, "Hey, Izzy, great shot." Or on a JV court, "Hey, Bridget, that's really cool." She's there all the time for all the girls. When I go to other coaches' meetings, when I go to coaches' matches, the first question the other coaches ask, not just in the Suburban National, but in the Continental, the American states, "Where's Amelia? Where's Amelia? We want to talk to her." They love to be in her presence. Her enthusiasm, her energy, it's just phenomenal. I've coached for a lot of years, and never have I had the opportunity to coach personality and a well-deserving state champion. Amelia Honor.
Congratulations, Amelia.
All right, and thanks to all the teammates for coming out this evening. That's pretty cool. Pretty good stuff. And thanks for coming in from England. My goodness. It's fantastic. Happy holidays, everyone. Thanks, everyone. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Report. Thank you. Mr. Cox, solicitor's report, please.
Dr. Thorwart, nothing much to report tonight other than the executive session that occurred before tonight's meeting on potential litigation. And that's all I have.
Thank you. That brings us to the first round of public comment. I don't have anybody on the list. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak? No one? Okay. That concludes the first round of public comment. With that, we've got a couple of board minutes to approve. Mr. Tate, do you want to take H and I together, please?
I will.
That's all right, right?
Give me 1 minute. Thank you, Dr. Thorwart. I move to approve the minutes of the meeting of the board on November 14, and I also move to approve the minutes of the board reorganization meeting on December 5.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any comments from anyone up here on those minutes? Hearing none, I'll ask that the secretary record that with unanimous consent. We have no items for discussion tonight. This is going to be a very short meeting. With that, Ms. McKee, could you spin us up on the Education Committee, please?
I will, and try to keep it brief. The Education Committee met on November 21st, and while we are as we continue to look at the high school schedule, the 8AB schedule, while we're continuing to investigate that, the priority for this meeting were the topics of high school start times and the unit lunch or rock block. So on the topic of unit lunch, we were presented with the rationale for it. We also saw the associated costs with rock block, such as additional furniture, kitchen equipment, et cetera, and then various considerations should that be implemented. For example, expectations of staff, expectations for students. And then our second topic was high school start times. We've been spending a good deal of time investigating this. It was agreed that Council Rock would develop a steering committee to guide the process. Naturally, that would involve the areas of transportation, central office, building administrators, and also develop a Council Rock community committee for their input. And then go forward investigating a variety of potential means of perhaps implementing later start times for the high school. And I just wanted to point out my appreciation for the members of the public who joined us for that meeting. They shared their views on this topic. Really important to hear from our public, our community, students, staff, families, and I hope that everyone will continue to engage on this topic and keep us apprised of their thoughts as we move forward examining these two topics. The next committee meeting will be on January 30th, and that will be chaired by Mr. Tate. As that concludes my report, I would then like to make a motion to approve consent agenda items B through K as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second. Second over here. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, I'd like the secretary to record this motion as passing with unanimous consent. Moving on, Bucks County IU number 22. Ms. Brooks, could you fill us in on your report, please?
It is an easy one to give. With board reorganization and things happening at local districts, there is no December meeting for the IU, so I will report in January.
Thank you. Council Rock Education Foundation Liaison. I know we reorged and Mr. Hidalgo was appointed. Have you had a chance yet to attend a meeting?
Well, there hasn't been a meeting, but I'll be brief anyway.
Okay, that's fine.
Let you know, thank you, Andy Blunt, for giving me that opportunity to act as liaison for the board. There's two things. Usually we have some announcements, so I want to at least remind the public of a few things that are two things that are going on. Do you know, Jefferson Health was nice enough to sponsor the Raising Great Kids speaker series this year. So I just wanted to remind everybody that the next engagement is on January 15th, and it's hashtag I Can Help, presented by Kim Carr, a nationally recognized speaker. And what that hashtag I Can Help does is educates and empowers students on using social media positively, and I think everybody could use that. So that's coming up, and be looking out for the newsletter and the website for that date and place, or I'm sorry, time and place. The only other thing I would remind everybody is that there's a great grant program that Council Rock Education Foundation does, and the deadline for the 2020 Innovative Learning Grant application is Monday, March 9th. So it's interesting to know that who can apply is any staff member, but also community organizations and PTOs, parent and school associations should also be interested in looking into it. Please visit creducationfoundation.org and look under the grant tab for more information. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Middlebucks Institute of Technology. You're both tag teaming still, so please.
Thank you. There was an executive session on November 25th to discuss personnel and collective bargaining. There was no December meeting, so we will come back to you in January with a full report.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is Policy Committee. We have not had a Policy Committee meeting to my knowledge. Mr. Tate, I want to thank you for the work you did, and Ms. McKee, I'm looking forward to the next year with those.
Thank you very
Anything to add?
No. Thank you.
Okay. Finance Committee, Mr. Bylick.
Okay, so we met on Thursday, December 5th, right before the reorg meeting, I think it was? Yes. We had a pretty light agenda, but some good information. We discussed the budget quite a bit, including the Act 1 index resolution. There was a good discussion about that you should watch on YouTube. Major impacts to the budget and the summer project funding. Bill, anything else there? Kristen, anything? No? Okay. With that, I'd like to move to approve the consent agenda items B through F as contained to the attachments, in the attachments to this agenda.
Second.
Ms. Marcello, over the second. Questions? Any comments? This is really easy tonight. With that, I'll ask you to record this motion as passing with unanimous consent. We have two other items on there. You want to just take them together?
You want me to take them? Yeah. Okay. I move to approve the personnel actions as contained in the attachments to this agenda. That is for item G. And for item H, I also move to approve the personnel actions addendum as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Comments? Questions?
Anything?
Okay. Hearing no objections, I'll ask you to record those two motions with unanimous consent. Facilities Committee, we do have a new chairperson for that, and Mr. Salomon, you ran your first meeting, so.
It was delightful, Dr. Thorwart. We met on December 12th. We actually had a very full agenda under supervision of Mr. Taylor over there. Mr. Taylor brought us up to date on the status of Rolling Hills, on time, on budget. Hope to have windows are going in very quickly or as we speak. There's also some conversation regarding some security requests for upgrades for the district that falls in line with our strategic plan. We also discussed Saul Finestone, some adjustments are going to be needed up there. And then we had some other bids that we talked about at Council Rock South with the tennis courts, the basketball courts. And in addition to that, we discussed facilities usage and fees. All this can be watched on our YouTube channel. It was a good meeting, very informative and a lot of information. So with that being said, I'm going to move to approve the consent agenda items B through D as contained in the attachments to this agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. Any discussion items, comments? That was a long meeting. Good meeting, yeah. Anything from? Hearing no objections. Ms. Rice, yeah, I'd like to record that motion as passing with unanimous consent. I have no board items listed for tonight, which leads us right into our second round of public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment on this round? No one? Okay. Board comments. Any new business?
Sorry.
That's all right, all right.
Dr.
Any old
Thorward,
business?
I'd just like to make a quick comment. I know we're going through this agenda, rather quickly, but I'd like to just applaud the PTOs from Wrightstown and Richboro who was in this agendas this evening, together purchased over $13,000 worth of Chromebooks that are going back into those schools, specifically 7,800 hours at Wrightstown, 8,400 hours at Richboro. My congratulations to those PTOs. That's good work.
Good, and good point. I'm moving through the agenda, and I missed that when we came through, so.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay, with that, let me just check and make sure I didn't miss anything. Any other comments? Meeting adjourned.
I vote for him. Best meeting ever.
There wasn't much to this.
I believe that was